All right, guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Ogbe Edward Monoyo, and on this particular series, we are telling medical stories, giving students the best possible chances to make great and fantastic pre-med, med, post-med decisions. Today, we'll be talking about how you can get a research fellowship program in Canada. And with us today is Dr. Osuji, Shedrach, Chine. Hi, I can't get the last part. Chine. Oh my goodness. All right, Shedrach, can you just introduce yourself? I'm so sorry.
Hello, guys. My name is Osuji Shedrach. Chinechetam.
Oh, Chetam, I'm so sorry.
I'm a graduate of BN Karazin Hakim National University. Like I said, the best university. And that's on period.
It can't be on period on my channel. Sorry for cutting you short.
The ranking has it. So you can check the ranking. If you want to come to Ukraine, please make sure you come to Karazin. And then presently, I'm working with the NCDC. Yeah, so.
Great. All right, guys. So in this video, we'll be talking about getting research fellowship program in Canada. But if you're interested in knowing about his journey and how he's working right now with the Nigerian Center for Disease Control and CDC, then please click on the link after this video. So let's go straight to the video, the research fellowship program in Canada. What's it all about? How did you stumble on it? Like, give us all the juice. Like, where did it begin from? And yeah, we would like to know.
All right, so where did it begin from? I would say it begins. Hey, God. Oh,
it
God.
Began,
sorry.
It's okay. It began from.
So it began from, I think my fourth year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I think it didn't just begin when I started looking for this fellowship. It began from when I became genuinely interested in research, and this was about in my fourth year. Mm-hmm. And then I've been. What's it called? Since then, I had always known that, okay, I probably will go into research, and I'm trying to build my CV to look like that.
Yes.
So I think that's where it began from, really.
Okay. I have a very important question because I'm beginning to find out this information and from everyone I've interviewed, and personally too, having gone through medical school and saw the whole process as well. I think it's very important to build a CV for the kind of practice you would love to have. So I want you to emphasize again one more time. How important is it for someone to build a healthy CV in medical school, aside from just being a very good student who went to class and studied, you have good grades as part of CV, of course, but yeah, you understand what I'm saying. So can you please shed some light?
So I tell people that really, if someone takes your CV, the person should be able to guess what part of medicine you like, really, as a medical student. So it's because it's very important not just to just build CV anyhow, but then to be intentional about your CV, basically. So, for example, when I was in fourth year, I discovered that okay, I'm probably interested in public health. So then, whenever I attended conferences, and I spoke in those conferences, I tried to speak about something related to public health. So then I discovered that okay, it's not just public health. I'm interested in infectious disease, basically infectious disease, so emerging infectious disease, virology, microbial resistance, and also public health in general. So what I did was I started being intentional. So I looked for conferences that were talking about infections, and then I tried to apply to maybe talk in those conferences, and then did one or two researches with my infectious disease teacher. So I told her that, oh, I'm interested in infectious disease, and then I would love to work with her. Maybe even I even assisted her in her PhD program actually. So all those things was so it's basically about intentionality really. So you have to be intentional about your CV, okay, so somewhere in your head, you're beginning to see that, okay, I like endocrinology, or I like hematology. Now you begin to try to do things around hematology or endocrinology. So you can start by maybe even, I'm not sure they have like a society for endocrinologists, for example, or medicine student interested in endocrinology. If they don't have something like that, you can even form one by yourself, actually.
By yourself,
so
yeah.
Exactly. So like me, when I started being interested in public health, I formed an organization, ISPHS, International Students Public Health. Although it didn't float very well as I expected, yes, but then I had that imagination. I had, okay, there's nothing like this, and I wanted my CV to be good, so I tried to do organization. So if anybody's hearing me right now, all you have to do is form that society and volunteer as much as you can with any organization that relates to your
passion very closely.
That, because when people see your CV, they want to see that you're passionate about these things. You said you. So that's it, really. So,
and naturally, people will pick people who have a track record and have been working on a particular topic, as opposed to someone.
Yeah, so for example, my supervisor in Canada. Do you know I didn't even show him my transcript of my diploma?
Wow. Yeah, I think you were telling me.
Sent him,
we're talking about that one time, yeah?
I only sent him my CV and a motivational letter. That's all. So I didn't send him transcript and all those things. So looking at it, really, I think that to an extent, what you have in your CV might even be more important than your transcript.
Yeah.
So yeah, This is not an advertisement for people to be bad at school and not get good grades. At the same time, your CV is, because when he said he saw my CV, and then he showed his scientific director of the lab, and then the man was like, "How soon can we get this guy?"
Wow.
So, and funny thing is, I didn't see the CV as a big deal. Yeah. And this is something I like to tell people now, that even if you think it's small, just do it. Because what I have in my CV really is just conferences I attended in Ukraine. It's volunteer job I did in Lagos one time, and then it's my student government I did. Since I knew I was going to be interested in research, for example, I did a lot of. I was academic director for an African Medical Student Association. I was also research department assistant for international students. So, because I knew that I was ready in this, CV has to reflect those things.
Oh, that's.
It doesn't matter how small this is. Just do it and put it in your CV.
Wow, that's amazing. I hope that people will listen, especially if you're still in preclinicals, first, second, third year. I remember sometimes that those years when there's conference, some people just go home. It's free day, there's conference, they won't participate, and then you just go home. And then most of those things won't even really cost you much. Maybe some few hours of reading extra, creating slides, and so stop having free days so that you can have a good life. Great. All right. So walk us through the application process. How did you find this research? How can someone find a research program if they're interested in someone who is building their CV or hearing this? How can they find a research program in Canada or anywhere in the world?
So after deciding what you're passionate about and building CV like that, I think the next step is beginning to look for professors who share similar research interests with you. So this happens like everywhere in the world: US, Canada, UK, everywhere really. So now what you do is basically just write those professors. So
how do I get their contacts to write? How do I get the contacts? Where can I find?
So most times these contacts will be on, if they're working with a university, it's going to be on the university website. So when you check staff like them and staff, you see them and then all of that. Also, you can check if they work in an institution, maybe a lab or something, also they will have that information. Yeah, so, and really, I wouldn't say that it's because I started writing for my 5th year professors actually, like 5th year. So and I know people who wrote up to 500 emails. So it's not something that you would write once and you get and you'll be taken actually. So, but again, the confidence you have that you just need just one
person
acceptance,
to
one person to accept. You don't need a lot of so, and you don't know who that person is, so you just have to keep on writing. So, so now, but even before you write the email, when you see the person that you share similar interest with, you need to now begin to read the person's publications.
Yeah.
So that when you are talking to the person, you don't because your first email you're going to write to the person, you have to write, of course, introduce yourself first of all. Introduction includes okay, what you are doing right now. If you're a graduate, okay, I graduated from so school. What you graduated with. If you know your GPA, you can put it in the. I know in Ukraine they don't give GPA, but you can.
No, but you can.
Your GPA.
They can calculate. I don't know about your. I don't know about your amazing and top-notch university, but from my very amazing, I'm not going to do this, but from KNMU, they can calculate your CGPA if you want them to. So it's possible. You just have to go to the university, go to the administrative department, and tell them what you need. They can even tell you what's your placement in your graduation set. So were you 4th, were you 5th, were you 6th, were you in the top 100? Oh, finally, they do something.
But if you are going to school that don't do the GPA like my school, what you need is that you need to. There are websites where you can calculate your GPA yourself. It will take time, but you can do it. So there's this West tool you can do it. Then WES West, and then also you can do your Scholaro. I think that's what it's called, Scholaro. You can also calculate your GPA. So if you can include it in your email, and then your research interest too. You have to write that too, and then now show the man that you have done some research on him too. So say, I'm interested in your lab because, don't say something cliche. Say, okay, I was going through a publication that you did, and so and so and so. I saw how you were able to discover maybe antimicrobial resistance, just something you read from the publication, so that it can catch. Because the thing is that your first email has to be catchy.
Yeah.
And then, of course, then you now say that as a budding scientist or as a budding researcher, I think that maybe your lab is the best place I would be able to just like grow or something like that. So make it catchy, make it. I like the people that also make it sentimental. So don't do general stuff, because if you
don't
make
go
an
and
impression,
don't go and copy from somewhere.
Exactly. Don't go and copy from somewhere. So if you make an impression, they will most likely get back to you.
Oh, that's amazing. That's really amazing. So people need to learn the basic acts of writing CVs, motivational letters. Because one thing I find people do is that at the end of the day, okay, for me, I cannot say people. This happened to me. It was when I needed it that I knew all these things, letter of motivation and all those stuff. So I'm like, what is all this? Essay writing. It felt like I stopped writing 400, 500 words in secondary school. But you need to learn these things. So go and Google them. They are available online. Go and Google. Many times when I help people write their CV, write their motivational letter, when I read them, I always say one thing, like you were saying, there's no heart in your letter. This person is going to read 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 CVs. And what will make your CV or your motivational letter stand out? If there's a professor and 10,000 students from all over the world will send an application to them, what will make it stand? And I think the problem people face is that they don't really have a passion like you said, they've not done things. They've not intentionally, think about where am I going to, what am I going to do. So they're trying to make up things. Just, I would like to, I've heard about research. I would like to do research. So now they're trying to gather stuff together, because I see that something is really your passion, or you're passionate about it. Penning it down, you may not be the best of all writers, but your heart can always be seen in your work. And I always tell people that when I look at your CV and I look at your motivation letter, sometimes it doesn't even match. So you you must present the credentials and then talk about what. So I should be able to see that, oh, you've been interested in this for a long time. This is what you are saying. And then one important thing you said also is knowing the person. You want to work closely with this person as well. You should spend time to read their publications and be genuine about it. You should look for someone who is passionate about what you're passionate about. So that's really very important. So another thing I would like to also include is that that you said most people make that mistake when they're applying for programs, not just even research programs. They just go to the school website and they just apply in general. Now that may work for some people, but sometimes that may not work because that means you're depending that some way, somehow, a supervisor will pick your mails, which sometimes these people pick people who directly write to them. So like Dr. Osuji already said, please let's stick more with, if they're general applications, make general applications, but also write. And like you said, you just need one person to pick your application. So how many supervisors did you write? Can you tell us about that?
It's in the hundreds, actually.
It's in the hundreds, so you lost count, right? So was this the only person who replied you?
No, I got 2 replies, actually.
So why did you pick this one?
Okay, so the other one said I had to wait till next year.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I have to wait till next year for the both of them. Mm-hmm. So, but from University of Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I didn't see this man's interest, because I'm looking for somebody who will be interested in my own. Okay. This
current supervisor over the one in Toronto. Yeah. Okay, let's go.
So one thing I'm looking out for somebody who is interested in my personal development, career-wise. So, and that's one thing I saw with my supervisor. So, because he kept on telling me that before I finish my fellowship, that he wants to make sure that I have publications, that I've traveled to places, and maybe even giving talks. I've done different things. He was saying that I would do, and then and I could see that he was genuinely interested in me developing into a solid scientist. So that was one thing, and I liked the fact that he was approachable. He was very funny. So it's someone I could talk to and relate with. We spoke about different things, even outside science, and also the lab was way better than the other lab. Of course, the lab was from University of Toronto, but the other place was a level 4 lab. That's very good. But only few places have level 4 lab in the world, so it was very good. And that's why I chose.
So basically, you just chose what was more suited for you as a person and also professionally, right? Let me ask you a very interesting question. If the way you made your decision look like was first of all what was good for you, and then what was also better professionally. If it swapped the other way around, something is really high professionally, good lab and every other thing, but it's not as compared to somewhere else that you really feel connected, what will you pick?
Personally, for me, I will go with someone I connect more with, because there's something with connecting with your mentor. It's going to help you a lot. And because you can be in a big lab, a wonderful lab, and you're not doing anything sense because the person does not care about you. So at the end of the day, maybe all you have is the name of the lab, but then you never actually did any publications because the person was not interested in you. Never did any of those things. All you just did was slave yourself in the lab, and then you didn't even grow professionally like that because nobody was there focusing on you. But then on the other hand, you have someone who would focus on you. But then in an average lab, I would go for the other people who focus on you, because it's important that there's this very cordial relationship between your mentor and you.
Great. All right. Was there any interview process for the selection? After, probably, I want to believe that you write the supervisor and then you get a reply, right? A positive reply. After then, was next?
Okay. After I got the positive, oh, it's about to rain. After I got the positive response, all I did was I asked him for a meeting, actually. So I suggested a meeting to talk better, because I'll be able to understand who he is by. So another thing I want to say here at this point is that don't be afraid to suggest a meeting. Really, it shows that you are serious about whatever you are doing. I told him, "Oh, are you available for a meeting? I would like to have a meeting with you." And he was like, "Okay, sure, let's do it." So we had that meeting, and so we had the meeting, and I was very scared. I think I called you that day, actually. I was very scared, because I felt like this interview can be like, maybe you'll be asking me about, so what project you have in mind, and all those heavy scientific questions. But that's not what he asked me. He just kept so calm. I think him too was trying to make sure that he's someone he can work with. So, and then again, I would advise anybody who is meeting this professor or his professor for the first time to ask questions. So what I asked was that, have you been supervising people before? And he said yes. And I'm like, okay, are they master's students or are they PhD students? And I'm like, okay, these people, do they have publications once they are done with you? And he said, oh yes, they do. And I was trying to figure out what they do in their lab, to make sure that I'm not entering one chance.
Yeah.
I think that made him feel like, okay, this guy is serious about his career. So don't be afraid. We have this African culture where we think that we should be cool and then not ask questions even when it matters. So, but then when I asked, and he was like, "Oh, like the fact that I'm asking this question," then it just shows that okay, I'm serious about stuff. So we didn't really do an interview. It was more like a chit chat, actually. Maybe that was the interview, but it was and then at the end of the interview, he told me he was trying to sell his lab at the end of the interview. He said, "Oh, I might have what's it called? Maybe better offers somewhere else. But then I should know that in this place I have a good opportunity to grow professionally." So I think that even if there are other options, I'm already looking forward to working with you, and I can assure you that you've made a lasting impression with me, and you are number one on my list.
And genuinely, so, you felt connected to his work and to the lab, right?
And I feel like that's what people should do with interviews. Because before I even did that meeting, I read.
That's what they should do with interviews. I get what you're saying, but I think where you're coming from is that they should, because what you said from the beginning is that you love the work, you have researched about the work. So I think it was easier for you to communicate with him because you like what he's doing. It was a more relaxed meeting because it was organic.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yes. I agree. But what I'm trying to say is that I believe that, because I read somewhere before the meeting, and that made me ask questions I asked, that for interviews, you're not it's not just the people interviewing you. You should also be interviewing them. Because in as much as they're trying to find out whether you're the best candidate for this position, you're trying to find out whether they are the best people to give your to hand over your professional development to. So it's a two-way thing. So I think people watching this video should never forget that really. That's a two-way thing really when it comes to interview. It's not just them interviewing you, you're also interviewing them to make sure that they're the best organization or institution to hand over your professional development to. So it's a two-way thing really. So, and it really leaves a last, because every other person will be like, yes sir, yes sir, yes sir, yes, and that's it. But personally, if I'm on the other side of the table as the interviewer, I would like the other person more who is interested in professional development, actually, and asking relevant questions.
That's really good. I think that's a very important point, because most times people are just desperate to get in somewhere. And I think people can see when they know that you're not even thinking about what you want to do. And in most cases, it can go the other way, whereby if people may just accept you, but you may get stuck. Like you said, you may just get stuck. I have heard of many cases where people are in a place for a long time. They've not done the things they would really love to do. The amount of papers they would have loved to have published at a specific time. So it's really good. So it's good to make research, know what you want, and also ask good questions. Yeah, great. So currently, you've not moved yet to Canada. Why? What's up? Let's know what's happening. You're currently at NCDC. So what's happening?
So really what's happening, it's coronavirus, obviously. So there are coronavirus restrictions that is making it impossible for me to transition to Canada. So we've spoken, me and the principal investigator, and then we're looking forward to starting next year instead because of the restrictions with coronavirus.
Great. So that's why right now you're occupying yourself with still touring the same path by working in the NCDC, right? Great. Good, yeah. Good. So what are you going to do with your housemanship and NCDC, and then with your research work? That's a lot. It's a lot you are handling. So how are you planning to juggle it? If you're still in the process, you could just tell us you're figuring it out. You don't have to give us an answer here.
Well, I think I'm figuring it out, but then
I helped you. Yeah.
Okay, that part I'm still figuring it out.
All right. It's okay. I think I will still get you back as things unfold. Hopefully, you don't get too busy. So, what are the things I love to conclude my videos like this? I'm interested in the path that you've taken. I'm interested in research, or I think maybe it may come up somewhere. And I'm in medical school. What are the things I'm supposed to be doing right now? The last time I gave 5, let me make it at least 3 this time. 3.
First of all, I think the person needs to, because research is a big world. The person needs to find out what part of medicine is interested in researching. So when the person finds out that, probably approach a professor. One thing I found out is that a lot of professors are even willing to help. Once you tell them, you're interested in this, that they are willing to help, really. So do that, and then try as much as possible to build your CV according to that, according to that path. And then, if you can, during the holidays, please volunteer with a research institute. You don't have to even do anything in the research, but just in your CV, you've had that you have in your CV that, okay, I researched with for example NCDC or something for a month, 2 months, a summer break, and yeah, that's it really.
All right, so you heard Dr. Osuji, and he has told you what you should be doing, so start right now. All right, thank you, Shedrach. I know this story is still unfolding. Many people want more juice. So what's the title of the research program? Where exactly? And all of those good stuff. But he will be back with it. Like we heard, it's still a process. Okay, so we're just getting the initial information that we need, that you need for you to go ahead of it. But either ways, I think Shedrach will not mind. I will link his email down in the description box. You don't mind if anyone has a question? Would you reply our mails if we send them?
I would love to reply, actually.
All right, great. So if you have any questions, I think personally, since the story is still evolving, you can understand why some things we cannot mention right now. So you can send him emails. I think on a personal note, he would answer. He also has a YouTube channel, guys, and he promised us medical content. For me, my channel is all around productivity, but if you're a doctor, after a while, I'm going to leave this and talk about some other stuff. But for him, if you subscribe to his channel, Shedrach, I hope I'm not putting you under the bus. He's going to give you all of the medical content. Shedrach, we need content. We actually do need content. Please.
Contents are coming out, don't worry.
All right, so you can click on the next video, the next link. I spoke to Dr. Shedrach here on MDCN, or you could just click on the next video to talk about NCDC. So thank you guys for watching. And if you're watching and you're not subscribing yet, then I don't know what else to do to you. Just go or stay and just subscribe to the farm and get more information. Thank you, Shedrach, for such a very informative discourse. So I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Bye, guys. Welcome to Africa.
So well, you can see me, yeah?
Yeah, I can see you. But we can wait. Is the light going to come back now, or we have to wait? Like, wait.
The light will come on now. Actually.
Then let's just wait a bit. Oh, it's back now. No, I won't put this part. It's my motherland, Nigeria.
But you can hear me, yeah?
Perfectly well. The lighting in that room is very good. It's really good. It's really good. I'm coming. Let me just speak. Just wait. Just a moment.
Yeah, you can hear me, so it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. I can hear you. You want to wear an earpiece?
I don't have an earpiece with me. I've got mine at home.
Yeah. So don't worry.
Okay.
Even this.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Just wait. We'll continue. Okay, let's go.
Making a YouTube. Okay.
All right. So what were we saying? Where were we?
Yeah. So you're asking me what made me choose